Hey guys, I'm Alex from Sanzu Fabrications, and in this video I'm going to show you the process that I use to make Ike's leg armor. Now this is part of my Ike Cosplay series, so if you want to keep up to date with this project, be sure to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to like it. This was my first time making leg armor, so this set involved a lot of trial and error. I started off by measuring Ike's shin from the ankle to the middle of the knee to get a general idea of the scale. I then drew out several sketches of the armor to get familiar with the unusual shapes. Some parts, for example the pointed portion near the kneecaps, had to be broken up into smaller parts in order for me to get the right angles. With an understanding of the size and shape of the armor, I scaled up the drawings onto poster board to make my patterns more durable. I then pinned the patterns to EVA foam and traced out the shapes. I removed the patterns and using an X-Acto Blade, I cut out all of the pieces. The pattern resulted in 22 separate pieces, 11 for each leg. With everything cut out, I heated the pieces with my heat gun and molded them into shape. I then sanded down all of the edges with my mouse sander. Sanding also helped me clean up some of the beveled sides needed for the knee areas. I then began to glue all of the pieces together. During this step, I started to notice my pieces were not making the correct shape. I had to decide how much of the final armor shape would come from the EVA foam, and how much would be implied by the final paint job. The middle V-shaped piece was originally broken up into two separate pieces, but I decided to recut these pieces as a single part. The taller lower portion was also looking pretty boxy, so I decided to make these a single rounded piece. With these adjustments made, I went back and continued gluing everything. Due to some of the irregular surfaces, like the rounded shins and the bottom pieces, I needed to hold some portions until the glue had fully dried. I did this with painter's tape and duct tape. The adhesives on these tapes removed large portions of the foam surface, but I was planning on sanding them again, so it didn't really bother me. After some light sanding, I had to add the trim. For some of the pieces, like the bottom pieces and the V-shaped ones, I was able to just trace over the original patterns, measure in 1/2 inch, and draw in the inside of the trim. For the long shin parts, I could just measure out a 10-inch long strip. For the knee portion, I covered the entire trim area with painter's tape, drew on the trim, peeled it off, and then flattened it onto a piece of poster board. After I had all the trim patterns cut out, I traced them onto craft foam, cut them out, and then glued them to the armor with Barge contact cement. For the vertical grooves in the V portion, I scored the area with an X-Acto Blade and then applied my heat gun in order to shrink the foam and open the cuts. I then took a moment to fill in any holes or seams with Kwik-Seal. With everything dry, it was time to add the straps. I cut out 6 pieces of strapping and used more contact cement to glue them to the back of the armor. I got a little paranoid that the cement wasn't going to hold, so I added some duct tape over the straps so they wouldn't pull away from the armor on the sides. I know it doesn't look very pretty, but all of this madness will be hidden in the back. I also took the time to fold over the raw edges and stitch them over so the straps wouldn't unravel. I finished construction by masking off the straps with painter's tape. I also masked off a small area on the inside of the armor so I could attach Velcro that would attach directly to the boot. That way the armor wouldn't twist around. I also masked off the bottoms of the armor so I could Velcro the back portions on. With everything glued and masked off, I coated the entire armor with Plastidip to prime them for painting. When they had dried, I brought them inside, removed all the tape, and added on the Velcro. And now I've got Ike's leg guards all finished and ready to be painted. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it. And if you want to see further videos about this project, remember to subscribe.